We need to keep the spark going, to keep the fire burning. That is Battlefront 2 and our desire for Battlefront 3.
Do it.
As you might have seen, as I've talked about in the past week, more people are playing Battlefront 2 right now than they have since January 2021. We have more players playing this game than we have in the past 4 years. And this weekend, the player base is peaking again. More people are joining Battlefront 2 because they're seeing the hype. They're seeing the return to this game. And now more than ever, it is so clear that there's a desire for a new Battlefront, for a new Star Wars multiplayer shooter for Battlefront 3. I have an idea about how we can get this game made. I'm going to share that with you today, but I need all of your help to do it. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. I've had people asking me, why do you think Battlefront 2 is so popular right now? Why are so many players coming back to the game? I think there's a number of factors that go into this. Number one, Star Wars right now is peaking again with the success of Andor. Andor is doing so well. Number two, we have the Star Wars Fortnite update, which has also been popular, but doesn't scratch the same exact itch that a Battlefront style game scratches. And we also have the successful return of Revenge of the Sith in cinemas. Star Wars is going off at the moment. And the best Star Wars multiplayer game to play with your friends, to experience what it's like to be in the big large-scale battles of the Star Wars franchise is, still to this day, EA's 2017 Star Wars Battlefront 2. But 2017, that's 8 years ago. Why has there not been a new Star Wars multiplayer large-scale game like this since then? That's a great question I don't necessarily have the answer to. I think a lot of the developers who were working on Battlefront 2 at DICE were also surprised when Disney or EA decided to cancel Battlefront 2's continued live service, cancel the updates, and not update the game anymore beyond 2020. But clearly they did a great job of keeping this game alive, of infusing new life into Battlefront 2 following the awful launch it has and the resurgence of it in 2019 and 2020. And we're seeing numbers close to that resurgence in the player base right now. Now more than ever, I think is the time where there is a huge desire for another game like this. Now, Battlefront 3, how are we going to get that made? And if it is made, who is even going to be the one to make it? As far as we know at this point, EA doesn't really want anything to do with Battlefront, considering, as far as I know, they want to move away from working with other franchises, with other IP that they don't necessarily own. They still do have a continued relationship with Disney and working on the Star Wars Jedi games. We also got the announcement of Zero Company, the strategy game. But in terms of developing another huge game like Battlefront 2, I'm not sure this is an investment they're willing to make, or that Disney even want them to make. If there's anyone we should be asking for a new Battlefront from, it's Disney, it's Lucasfilm. So how do we do that? Well, I want to use Skate as an example here. This can be our case study because this is an instance of a game that was made because of community feedback. Skate 3 was released in April 2010, and some people still argue that this is the best skating game ever made. But for many years, in comment sections literally spread across the internet in things that weren't even related to Skate at all, we saw comments of the hashtag Skate4.
Deploy the garrison!
People talked about Skate 4 literally everywhere, this elusive game that everyone wanted to see made, but EA never made the decision to make. Until a few years ago when EA literally came out and announced,
"We're back, we're doing it, Skate's happening, we're rolling."
They listened and they've decided to make a new Skate. Not called Skate 4, it's just called Skate, but it is the revival of this franchise. And as far as I know, the main reason why the decision was made to make the new Skate was because the community spread across the internet could not stop talking about it. There were comments everywhere. My point here with this is that basically because the internet, because gamers couldn't shut up about it, EA finally decided to make it. I want to apply that same tactic to Battlefront 3. So from this point forward, if you're on Instagram, if you're on YouTube, if you're on TikTok, Twitter, wherever you are, on social media, if you're thinking of writing a comment, or even if you're not, I want you to start writing Battlefront 3 everywhere.
Oh, it's beautiful.
If we can get the ball rolling enough on this and create enough noise and enough hype around a new Battlefront, it will clearly show developers, it will clearly show Disney and Lucasfilm that there is demand for this game, that there is a market for a new multiplayer Star Wars game. And perhaps then they'd be willing to invest the millions and millions of dollars and years of development it takes to make a game like Battlefront 3. The only way this works is if we all share this message, if enough noise is generated, if it breaks outside of just the Star Wars Battlefront community and becomes kind of, you know, a global underground internet sensation. We need to spread the word absolutely everywhere. And when I say to do this, please don't go about it with any hate. Don't attack people. Don't go after people. All of this comes from a positive space. All of this is just a positive message that, hey, we love Star Wars. We love Star Wars Battlefront. We would love to see a new Star Wars Battlefront made. What I'm basically saying we need to do is a massive community-run marketing campaign to get Battlefront 3 off the ground.
200,000 units are ready, 1 million more well on the way.
I've talked about in other videos, part of the reason I'm making these videos is just to continue the discussion, to continue to generate noise around the idea of Battlefront, around the idea of Battlefront 3, to continue to keep the train going, to keep the ball rolling, the hype, to keep Battlefront in the discussion so people don't forget, so we keep talking about it, so we keep sharing our ideas for it. Even in the comments of this video, this can be where we start. Go and talk about Battlefront 3. Go and talk about your ideas for Battlefront. Go and talk about what you love so much about Battlefront 2. Be part of the community, because then there is a chance. It's still a slim chance. It is still, I think, a risk for these developers and these companies to go and make a game like this. Anytime you're making a game, I guess it's a huge risk, and you know, there's so much money involved.
Money!
But based on the feedback I'm getting, based on what I'm hearing you guys say, based on the people I talk to in real life as well, everyone wants a new Battlefront, or wants Battlefront 2 development to continue in some capacity. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the game is almost too old now, especially because most of the Battlefront team that built Battlefront 2 has disbanded and no longer works at DICE. DICE now currently being solely, as far as I know, focused on their new Battlefield title. So I can't see them expending resources to continue development on Battlefront 2 and create more DLC or more updates for the game. It just doesn't seem likely. I think our hope rests in creating a new game in a similar way, or a similar style of game, such as Battlefront 3. I feel like, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree with me, there is so much potential here. There is so much potential for a new Battlefront, and clearly so many people would play it, so many people would buy it. And I feel like part of the reason that they've almost waited this long to make a new one is to build that hype, is to build the suspense. Now that it's been so long since we've had a Battlefront game released, or even since we've had an update for Battlefront 2, everyone is kind of itching for one. Everyone is wanting this experience, which is why we're seeing the return of the player base to Battlefront 2, which is why people are going back and playing this game, because it's still the best Star Wars multiplayer game out there that you can play right now. There's a huge desire for it, but in terms of who would actually be the developer to make it, this for me is a bit of a tricky one, because I feel like there's only so many developers out there who would have the capability or the capacity to create a game like this, and most of them are already involved in other projects or currently working on their own IP. But if you have an idea of who you'd want to make Battlefront 3, a developer or a game company that you think would make an awesome Battlefront 3, let me know in the comments. I'd love to read and figure out which ones of them could be viable, because at this point, unless the new Battlefield somehow truly fails, which doesn't seem likely considering EA are putting all of DICE's resources on it, then I don't see EA or DICE potentially making Battlefront 3. I think it could end up being someone new entirely. But man, it's honestly so cool to see everyone back interested in Battlefront. Everyone's playing. The resurgence is real. The community is alive. Even after the cancelled ones, even after the cancelled Battlefront 3s, the one from 2008, the one from the early 2010s, and then DICE's idea for making Battlefront 3, which never really got off the ground, was just all concepts. Even after all of those, it feels like now more than ever, the desire is stronger for a new Battlefront, for Battlefront 3 to actually be made. Let's break the rule of two, everyone. Two there are, no more, no less. Let's shake that up entirely. Let's get Battlefront 3 happening. It can't be true.
That's impossible!
Also, we know it's not true because Darth Jar Jar is the true Sith Lord behind everything. So even if Vader and Palpatine are indeed the rule of two, Jar Jar is the true Sith Lord. So technically it's 3, meaning we need Battlefront 3. I genuinely believe that what happened with Skate is a great case study that we can use in the context of getting Battlefront 3 made. The fact the community shared, talked about it literally everywhere, comment sections everywhere across the internet, and then the developers actually finally listened, the same thing can happen with Battlefront 3. We just gotta make it happen. So go, share, spread the word. We want Battlefront 3, but please do it nicely. Please do it respectfully.
I'm doing my part.
For more about Battlefront and Star Wars, watch this video here. Also, come follow me on Instagram, Twitter, join my Discord Discord and TikTok. Come and comment to me everywhere that you want to see Battlefront 3. Write it everywhere. Every comment section. Every Instagram post I make. Write Battlefront 3. Do it. Spread the word. Make the noise. I feel like I'm going crazy with this video, but maybe that's what we need to be. A little crazy to make this happen. Thanks for watching. Always remember,
Stay bombastic.